All right, hello everybody. Today I am doing my training seminar on integrating educational technology to improve student learning. So normally the seminar would be 1 to 2 days. It would be targeting um, educational staff, instructional staff, and teachers as well. So the purpose of the seminar would be to provide teachers with strategies to effectively integrate educational technology into instruction so that students would be able to enhance their engagement and learning outcomes and opportunities as well. Teachers would gain hands on experience with selected ed tech tools and learn how to align them with the curriculum and standards, best practices. So, my objective today with this training seminar would be for participants to identify key EdTech tools that are appropriate for classroom instruction depending on their subject and age group. Participants will demonstrate practical use of selected tools through guided activities. Participants will be able to evaluate the potential impact of these individual tools on student engagement and learning in their individual classrooms, and participants will understand the ethical considerations, digital citizenship, and financial implications associated with integrating and adopting this technology into their classroom. So, I have a list here of proposed technology tools that I would be focusing on. There is an array of unlimited technology tools that are out there. I know there's new technology tools that are being made daily. So these are just a list of everything I find useful, and doesn't mean there isn't things out there that might be more useful to your classroom. Learning management systems. So we're talking about a Google Classroom. A lot of colleges, junior colleges, universities use Canvas. These types of technologies, when adopted in the classroom, can centralize instruction and assignments and communications because the types of tools that are used on the Google Classroom or Canvas have a lot of things where you can integrate resources on each individual module that you're teaching at that point in time. They have things like being able to see feedback from your instructor when grading something. So maybe if you didn't understand why you got the grade you did, uh, the instructor is able to put some feedback in there. And if they want a bigger elaboration, there's a messaging, a direct messaging inbox on the same type of management system that would allow them to be able to message you and say, "Hey, I'm not really understanding this feedback. Can you, simplify it for me or make it a little detailed?" Things of that nature. Teachers can create assignments. Like I said, provide very good feedback for students, and they can monitor their students' progress. So they can say, "Hey, I noticed that Timmy here hasn't been doing his assignments, reach out to parents and kind of get on the same page," or vice versa. If a parent comes back to you and says, "I feel like Timmy hasn't been progressing," or he says he's doing all his work, you have a literal map right there that a parent can come and look, and you can say, "Well, Timmy, he's been behind on assignments for the past 2 weeks," or how can we get him on the same page or some sort of schedule that can help benefit him so that way he's not falling behind in my class. um, Another useful tool that I feel would benefit would be like interactive presentations or assessment tools. So these are like Nearpod, Kahoot, which are really, Kahoot is one of the big ones right now for students because it integrates little fun things. They have like polls, little games, quizzes, things of that nature that you can plug in videos and things like that, and it keeps students really, really, really engaged because it's not just your average, like, okay, here's a quiz, sit down, you need to know the answers, here's the information. It kind of presents it in a fun, interactive way that keeps students being able to retain the information. that you are trying to present to them. They use real time formative assessments and, like I said, very interactive lessons. Teachers can create polls, there's quizzes, there's interactive slides, so you can create like little lesson plans that have things in them where students would interact with it, or maybe have a question pop up in the middle of your uh, little slideshow, and they would be answering it as you go through, so that way kids are paying attention and things of that nature. um, Collaboration and productivity tools, so we have like a Microsoft Teams, you have Google Workspace. These are really, really good for group projects, talking student collaboration, as that's a big, big thing that I know California has moved towards in providing collaboration, integration, making students work together, you know, to kind of elevate their education and create, more of a formative learning experience. So these types of tools are very, very good for that. Teachers can explore, sharing documents, so students can go back and forth on working on an assignment without having to actually be there in person. This is live collaboration, so as soon as you delete something on the document, the other person, if they're on the document, they'll see that being deleted right then and there. You can send little messages, leave little notes for particular things on the assignment itself in these types of productivity tools. They have project management features, so you could go through and create this outline like, hey, we need to have this done by then, or we need to work on this. This needs to be a little bit longer, things like that, which make it really nice and easy for people to work together and kind of break this barrier of like, oh, we never find the time to be able to work together. Oh, I don't know what so and so is thinking because they just hop on it, they work, and then I go in and I do my thing. No, it creates an actual collaborative learning working environment. And then there's the multimedia and feedback tools. So Flip, which used to be Flipgrid, allows students to like submit video reflections and presentations, which is really good. Teachers can learn how to provide feedback and assess student submissions like digitally. So it creates this same thing of almost a collaborative work environment, but you're never actually having to uh, be there in person. It's like they can work on their time, and then once you get to the video, you can provide your feedback, and they get that all, whenever you get to it at that specific time. They're not waiting, till the next day. They get to school, they have to see the feedback. No, it's right there. If you do it at 8 p.m., it's there on the dot at 8 p.m., which is really nice for students. So the way we would kind of integrate these things for these faculty members would be like a hands-on type of workshop. So I'd have if I had it my way and I had it set up the way I would want to do it, we would have a lot of uh, laptops or computers. We'd have each individual technology uh, thing that we had spoke about, and maybe some that are not in my presentation here, and kind of compare them. We would be able to work with each individual type of thing individually. Each teacher could kind of fill them out. They would engage in these structured step-by-step instructions of each tool. So for example, I could go through maybe like a Canvas and show you every single thing that you could do on Canvas, not just, the things that you've seen or maybe the things that you know about. This would be every individual thing that you could do on Canvas. So that way, when you decided to use the tool in your instruction, you would have everything that you needed to be able to utilize that tool. And so this is about almost the 10-minute mark into my seminar, but this is essentially what it would be. Thank everybody for listening, and I hope you guys all have a good day. Thank you very much.